I think perhaps now I'm speaking as a woman.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're looking at 10 pieces of historical fiction where the historical part was totally forgotten about.
I'm sure we have much to learn from you.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. Doctor Who.
Regency England. A bit more black than they show in the movies.
So was Jesus. History's a whitewash.
This is more science fiction than historical, but the Doctor regularly visits the past, and it's often represented quite poorly. For example, Queen Victoria guns someone down. She also begins Torchwood, leading the fight against alien invaders, and supposedly turns into a werewolf.
No. I'll move on from that. It looks stupid.
A lot of historical events, like the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, are attributed to aliens. Additionally, they put Rosa Parks into conflict with aliens who want to derail the civil rights movement.
Are you crazy?
While entertaining, it's far from reality. It frequently warps or ignores history in favour of a thrilling narrative, which it does amazingly well, but it ain't accurate. Number 9. The White Queen.
Elizabeth. Take us.
This is a compelling historical drama, but it's rife with inaccuracies. It tells the stories of women involved in England's War of the Roses. One notorious inaccuracy comes from the Battle of Bosworth Field, which, as the name suggests, took place in a field. In the show, it's in a forest. It condenses 30 years of history into only 10 episodes, a recipe for disaster. Numerous characters are simplified versions of their real-life counterparts to make it feel like good versus evil. In reality, they were morally complex humans. One of the actors said, "The truth can be pretty boring," arguing the inaccuracies were sacrificed for entertainment.
Very well. We'll do it your way. And we'll wear white roses too, if you wish.
Number 8. Rain.
There's food and warmth. Who wouldn't want to be at the castle? Except perhaps you.
Mary, Queen of Scots, spent about 13 years in France. She was 5 when first introduced to the French court, a fact completely missed by the writers. This show depicts Mary as first entering French politics when she was 15, completely ignoring the 10 years she'd already spent in France. Instead, they claim Mary spent these years in a convent, something which never happened.
It's time.
Numerous characters like Sebastian Bache de Poitiers and Jean-Philippe never existed. It also romanticizes her marriage to Francis II, but the real union was politically motivated and there was probably little romance. This is all done because Rain wanted to be a teenage romance rather than historically accurate.
You threaten me. But it is the English who are afraid.
Number 7. Outlander.
You're not Frank.
No, madam, I'm not.
This show has been widely well received for telling a wonderfully well-written story and also hiring real Scottish actors to play Scottish characters. It tells the tale of a World War II military nurse who travels back in time to Scotland in 1743. She then gets involved in the Jacobite uprising. Inaccuracies include majorly simplifying the uprising and having a witch trial more than 20 years after they'd stopped.
This is the worst part.
Even the tartan is wrong. In reality, the Fraser clan wore vibrant red and green kilts, not the grey and blue like in the show. They also add a standing stone circle, similar to Stonehenge, which looks cool but never existed.
Just a bad dream.
Number 6. Wolf Hall.
Come out, dog.
He's talking to you.
Thomas Cromwell ranked highly in society during Henry VIII's reign and was a strong supporter of the Protestant Reformation. It's been widely praised for accuracy, but still makes plenty of mistakes. For instance, Thomas More is portrayed as a villainous Catholic. Historian Hugh Trevor Roper described him as the most saintly of humanists, completely different from his character.
Wolsey burns Bibles.
More will burn men.
Cromwell is also romanticised and depicted as a noble family man. Cromwell once told his agents to use torture on Mark Smeaton to get a confession of adultery with Anne Boleyn. She is also inaccurate, depicted as an oversimplified antagonist, sacrificing the real figure's complexity.
Harry, do me a good turn. Take away my brother's wife and drown her.
Number 5. The Crown.
Everything they want me to know, they stick on top. Everything they'd rather I didn't know, cabinet meetings, foreign office briefings, they tuck away at the bottom.
This drama covers the entire life of Queen Elizabeth II. It's been highly praised, but not for accuracy. As the show goes on, its depictions become increasingly inaccurate. Real-life people depicted have criticised the show. For example, Michael Fagan famously broke into the Queen's bedroom in the 1980s. The Queen immediately rushed for help.
Stop it! Just give me a minute.
In The Crown, he goes on a lengthy politically charged rant about Margaret Thatcher. It also heightens tensions between Thatcher and Elizabeth. At one point, Thatcher even requests the Queen dissolve Parliament.
I think we can confidently say the tide has turned.
The timeline is all over the place, with many events happening at the wrong time. Number 4. The Great.
You look taller in your portrait. Send her back. Get me a tall one.
Network Hulu called this anti-historical. The writers took the names from history and not much else. It depicts Catherine the Great's rise to power in Russia. Her husband, Peter III, was established as Peter the Great's son when he was his grandson. It also pretends Catherine was initially viewed poorly by Russians, but this is completely false.
I see.
The couple knew each other as children and became married at ages 16 and 17. The show begins with Catherine at 19 years old, and she meets her husband when they were both adults, almost 20 years later than the truth. It also condenses events from 34 years of her reign into the first couple of years she ruled.
I miss home.
Number 3. Bridgerton.
It is so wonderful to see you, Lady Danbury.
Words I do not hear often enough.
For anyone familiar with the Regency era, Bridgerton immediately feels like Americans in fancy dress, acting out their Regency romance fantasies. It sanitizes and romanticizes a particularly dark era of history. While the British nobility lived a life of luxury, in the real world, that wealth came from immense suffering, such as the colonial slave trade and the oppression of the working class.
I'm sure we have much to learn from you.
It could be argued these things were abolished in Bridgerton's alternate history. The clothing is also a big offender, with patterns and styles not present at the time. Creator Chris Van Dusen said it was never intended to be a history lesson, but a historical fantasy, which explains why it's so detached from the period's reality.
Perhaps, Your Grace, it would be better if you refrained from thinking about me at all.
Number 2. Victoria.
I think perhaps now I'm speaking as a woman.
This was essentially The Crown, but for Queen Victoria, except it was cancelled after only 3 series. It gets the broad strokes right, but suffers from egregious inaccuracies. Dame Diana Rigg, while in her 70s, was cast to play a woman in her 30s.
That's a nice bit of lace, missus.
They took creative liberties with the timeline too, with Edward Drummond being shot 3 years after he did. Drummond also died at 51, but his actor was still in his 20s when filming. One episode even portrays Victoria as trying to aid the Irish famine. In Ireland, they often refer to her as the Famine Queen, and we have absolutely zero evidence she did anything significant to aid the famine.
Do you have any idea of what is at stake here?
Number 1. The Tudors.
I came to offer my love and devotion as her true husband.
While it does a remarkable job of capturing the grandeur, intrigue and drama of the Tudor court, it takes massive liberties with historical accuracy. It condenses the timeline and simplifies events. Henry VIII famously became severely obese in his old age, which caused him numerous health issues like gout and ulcers.
She's mine to do with as I see fit.
In the show, he's always relatively slim and attractive. Henry treats his daughters with affection too, calling Mary and Elizabeth princesses. In reality, he was so fixated on a male heir, he had little affection for the girls.
This is my daughter, the Lady Elizabeth.
Characters' ages are also all over the place, like when they reduced the age discrepancy between Henry and Catherine Howard. Which show do you think strayed too far from reality? Let us know in the comments.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.